What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? We are back again for another episode review of How to Get Away with Murder, season 5, episode 3, I think. The baby was never dead. Okay. Um. So this episode was really good. This episode had so many some twists, some turns. It had me questioning shit. Bitch. Okay. Let me just start at the beginning, and then I'm gonna go person by person because it's easier to go that way. Um. I do like the fact that the episode did start off basically throughout the whole episode. It was dealing with this case that Annalise was supposed to be on or was forced to be on, by Emmett. Finally learned his name, the partner at Kaplan and Gold. Okay, so of course, you know how each episode starts off. It starts off in the present. We see where we left off last week with Michaela still asking Bonnie, why the fuck do you have blood? Who blood is that on you? And she was like, tell me, who blood is it? Who blood is it? And she was like, girl, I cut myself while I was shaving this morning. But if you looked at her neck while they was in the bathroom, and this is going to play a part in what's going to happen at the very end of the episode, there was a red blotch of blood right here, like a little dot, and she went in the bathroom. Bonnie went into the stall and, I guess to clean up or whatever. And she told Michaela to kind of fuck down. But nobody else seemed to notice or care anything else out of ordinary. Laura then took the baby back to the room, people dancing with the baby and all that stuff. So we see that Annalise has to be on this case, okay, with the psychopathic rich millionaire, company owner, whatever. And he even has a book on how to be a psychopath to, do business or some shit like that. And so, if you ever saw the movie Eulogy, okay, he was the girl who turned out to be gay husband, the dude that they defended, who never said anything. I said, bitch, I know who you are. And to see him playing this role, this is why I love looking at actors who are very versatile in the roles that they play. Child, I shouldn't have ate that candy. That's why my tongue all fucked up. Anyway, whatever. What else happened? So they have to do this case, okay? And basically, this guy was about to leave the company that he's working with, and if he left the company, it would have. They saying that he killed this guy, had choked him with a belt, and basically the reason why he did all this was because it would have took money from the company, all this stuff, and it would have been a bad look on the company, and they didn't want that to happen. So basically saying that this guy went on ahead and killed the other guy because of this. And so you got Annalise and Kaplan and Gold going against the DA, which is Ronald Miller, okay? And you got Asher in the courtroom and Bonnie and everything like that. So everybody's trying to do their part. Everything was going good at first, and then all of a sudden the defense get thrown a curveball when one of their witnesses goes for the prosecutor, okay, for the plaintiff or whatever. And she flips on them and says, I told the cops that he didn't do it, and I knew where he was, and I gave him an alibi only because I was scared that he was gonna strangle my ass next. And they was like, girl, you lying, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy and all this stuff. And so now they gotta go back and reassess the whole thing, okay? And at this point, dude wanted to put himself on the stand. And they was like, no, we ain't trying to do that because don't nobody want to talk to you because you're so fucking sexist, misogynistic, chauvinistic, and all that. He went on a rant talking to Tegan and Annalise, because Emmett and Annalise was, going back and forth as to which strategy that they should go. Annalise didn't want to put him on the stand. Annalise wanted to put old girl, I think she wanted to put old girl back on the stand and try to flip her or whatever, or find some dirt. That's what it is. Find some dirt on the witness that flipped and get her to come clean about the shit. Emmett didn't want to do that. Emmett wanted to put him on the stand, mostly because he wanted to satisfy his client, because after that Antares thing, they are basically sinking. They need more money, they need more clients, they need a win, and they need his business, because he was like, this gonna bring in $1 billion, to the company. This is $1 billion company that we need, okay? And so therefore, he's gonna do and kiss up to old boy and make him, agree with everything that he said at this point. You have Tegan in there doing a cross with him and questioning him and everything. And Elise kept on telling him he's just not a likable dude, okay? And he showed that he's not a likable dude by telling Annalise, you just never liked me, okay? What is it that I did to you that make you not like me? All right. It was like, look at your finger. You ain't never married. You always hurting people, whatever. You should know about killing somebody, because why you haven't married after your husband died? Look at your finger and all this shit. And Tegan came through trying to defend Annalise. And at this point, Tegan was over it, okay? Because he was like, oh, bitch, you ain't got no ring on your finger either, okay? What y'all need to do is go put some heels on and go out there and find you a man, okay? That's what you need to do. I said, ugh. And then he started talking about his wife that was sitting there that never said anything and was just like, she's on my side and I became a better man. I'm so sorry, y'all. My tongue looked disgusting. It's because I literally ate some Butterfingers. I'm so sorry. I'm looking at it. I'm like, should I redo the video? Nah, fuck it. We family, okay? That's what it is. I ain't got no disease. I just ate some Butterfinger shit. A couple of Butterfinger stuff. And it just got on my tongue like a motherfucker. I didn't know it was going to stain it like this. I haven't had candy in a while. That goes to show me I shouldn't have. But anyway, she was like, he said, she made me a better man and all this stuff. They was like, I can't see how that is possible. Okay, I don't see it. And I was like, you really want to put him on a stand? You want to put him on the stand with a jury full of women? Oh no, it's not gonna work that way. And oh boy said, oh Emmy, it's gonna work that way. You're gonna put me on the stand unless you want people to know about what happened after your fuck up in London. And I said, they was like, the only reason why you trying to do all this stuff because you trying to make up for the fuck up that you did in London. Bitch, Tegan and Annalise looked at each other like, what? Okay. So basically, that was one of the first shocks to me. Like, so you up here lying and making it seem as if Annalise, the reason why you were forced to get Annalise back. Annalise was the only one to come through and be on a team or whatever. Because the governor, you was going against the governor, and you trying to make it as if you doing Annalise a favor for bringing her on to the Kaplan and Gold firm or whatever, when in actuality you need Annalise there so that she can help you clean up your fuck ups that you did, not necessarily what Annalise did, but for what you did in London. Tegan and Annalise was walking down the hall, and they get on the elevator, and she was like, girl, you know what Emma did in London? She said, bitch, all I know is that they said misconduct. And she was like, what type of misconduct? Sexual. And she was like, girl, I have no idea. And sometimes it's better not to know the tea up in this motherfucker, okay? I said, so y'all vibing now. I said, oh, right, y'all vibing. It's cute. Okay? And every time Annalise and Tegan are seen talking to each other, Michaela gets in her feelings. We will get on that bitch in a second, okay? So Annalise had Oliver come through and to, look into some of the background of, some secretaries or whatever else that was on the thing. And, he found some information that was going on concerning the guy's wife. Basically, the dead guy and the wife were having an affair, okay? And, dude tried to make it seem as if that the wife was the one that killed him. Okay. The wife really was the one that killed him, choked him out in the middle of sex, trying to do it for the husband, because it would have been devastating if he would have left, and then he probably would have put it out on front that they was having a sexual affair, and then take the money and all this stuff and fuck up the company or whatever. It just wouldn't have been a good look. So she killed him, to protect her husband, and now her husband is protecting her. And Elisa's not buying this story. She feels as though dude really killed him and he's putting it on the wife. And he was saying how, I don't give a damn what you believe, but we're not going to put my wife on the stand, and my wife is not going to jail. I would take the fall for this before she would. Okay. And so, Oliver comes through, and he eventually gets hired permanently on the Kaplan and Gold team. And, when that happened, he do find some information. Well, this is the information that he found or whatever. Then they said we also got the belt evidence, okay? Because at one point, Annalise was getting wooed by Ronald Miller because Asher came to him and was like, one way that you can win this case is if you give Annalise what she wants. She'll probably give you what you want. And she wants this executive order to go away because the governor has a hard on for Annalise ever since she won this case in the Supreme Court, and she gets to retry these prisoners, okay? basically this governor put out another executive order thing trying to trip her up, saying that none of her students who are not, who haven't passed an ethics test, they can't work with her on any cases, and she needs her students to help her with the cases or whatever. And so therefore they had to study for the test, which was the very next day, and we see the students going in and doing what they got to do. And it took Connor to basically call their asses out and say, you want to talk to us about ethics, and every time you keep on bringing up a scenario, you saying she as a supervisor, which we already know that you're talking about Annalise. So isn't what the governor doing non-ethical? Okay, what you're doing is not ethical. Like, kind of went the fuck off, and I was very much here for it. I was scared for him a little bit, but I was here for it. But eventually, what came out is that all the students passed, and so they okay with working with Annalise. Now, Annalise didn't take no deal from Miller. Okay. And so they was gonna use the belt as evidence. She wanted the witness who switched up on old boy to try the belt on. And it was like, well, if she gonna try the belt on, she gonna try the belt on. Why don't you have your client try the belt on? And it was like, no, we ain't gonna do that. But then eventually Annalise was like, go ahead. So old girl, which was a black girl, she gets up there, she tries the belt on, and it fits her. He tries the belt on, and he couldn't even get that shit to come together to even buckle, okay, to even go through the hoop, the first hoop. So here you go. If it don't fit, you must quit. Shut up. She was like, girl, that don't mean nothing. Okay. And at that moment, we thinking that, okay, Annalise got it in a bag. She gonna be good and everything and whoop-de-woo. And kind of find out the jury still found him guilty of first-degree murder. And they said basically the jury had it up in their minds that they didn't like this motherfucker from jump. Okay? And Annalise was trying to convince old boy to say the truth, that your wife was the one who did it. And he said, no, this is what it's going to be. And I said, the shit you do for love, I guess he really do love her. Because at that moment, that would have been his prime time for him to go ahead and flip on her. And he didn't. Okay? And let's get to this little situation with Bonnie. Bonnie, she is in her feelings because Asher fucked around and told Miller that, him and her used to fuck around. So Miller, I should have said, was in his feelings and was like, then shouldn't you have told me? So they kind of broke up, and she went over there talking to Annalise, and Annalise was like, what's wrong? Because Annalise thought that Bonnie was the one who told her boyfriend, Ronald Miller, to go over there and talk to her about that deal or whatever. And she was like, first of all, we ain't even talking because we broke up and he ain't my boyfriend right now. So I have no idea what you're talking about. And it was like, well, what y'all broke up for? Because Asher dumbass and told him that we fucked each other and all this shit. And she told him, do I need to tell you everybody that I had sex with? Well, why don't you tell me all the paralegals in this office that you fucked around with? Okay, I said touche, tit for tat, up in this bitch. And Annalise was like, well, you should have told him. I said, it was like, if you gonna have Millstone there, you should have told him. Okay? And so they eventually do work the shit out and they're okay. What's his name? Frank. Frank is still watching Gabriel. Or let me do like this. Gabriel. Okay? And while he's watching him, Asher comes knocking on the door. Gabriel's sitting at his desk or whatever, and he's on some type of computer, and he has this little scanner or some shit, other hard drive thing that's on there that's hooked up. And as soon as Asher started knocking on the door because he needs to go to the bathroom or something like that, we see Gabriel hurrying up trying to unplug stuff, put it in a bag, and hide it in the fireplace. And so he opens up the door for Asher so he can come up in there and do whatever he got to do. Later on, while Gabriel was, doing the shit at school with the clients and all this stuff with the clinics, I should say, and Frank goes up in his place and gets the bag, takes that hard drive out, go take it to this guy, get it copied, and make it so that whatever he does on that, it mirrors onto the keylogger, mirrors onto Frank's computer, and he can, see everything that he's doing. All right. Mind you, when he opened up that bag, he pulled out a wad of money, okay, in a rubber band, who had an ID that was on it that said Mark Jackson, and it had Gabriel's picture. So the plot thickens. Is Gabriel really Mark Jackson? Or is his new, did he take the ID? Is that a fake ID being Mark Jackson? who the fuck is Gabriel at this point? We don't know who he is. We're not even sure if he's truly Bonnie's son or an imposter. Okay, maybe he did something with the real Gabriel Maddox, or maybe he is Mark Johnson. He really, or maybe Mark Jackson is a fake name or a fake ID just in case he needs to go on the run, since it was a wad of money at the same time. Like, I don't know what it is that's going on. Okay, and when they was at the clinic at Kaplan and Gold with the kids, Oliver was up there and he sees Gabriel walk past and the phone rings and he's flip open that phone and he was like, "What's up, mama?" And Gabriel on that flip phone, and that's when Oliver realized to start playing in his head when Frank was talking about some. Oh, so I need to learn how to clone a flip phone, and so he was just looking like, huh. And then we're gonna see next week he gonna confront him about what it is that you're trying to find on Gabriel. Okay, um, we got that out the way. What else is going on in this episode? Michaela. Bitch, let me get a sip of water because Michaela ain't gonna do me tonight. Michaela tried my nerves, and I don't understand what type of direction they trying to make this go with Michaela because it's irritating me. I loved it when Michaela was a strong black woman. They got Michaela looking so fucking weak and pathetic and puny on this season right now. Like, girl, grow the fuck up. Okay, that's what you need to do. Grow the fuck up. All right. Every time especially in this episode, it brought out so much more. Remember at the was it last season? Yes, it was. It was last season when Annalise was up there and she was gonna help on that case, one of those cases, and Michaela talking about some, you know what, you're not supposed to be up here. This is my place and all this stuff. And then Annalise had to tell her off like, bitch, you do this all the time. You try to find somebody to be a mother to you, a black woman to be a mother to you. First it was me, now it's Tegan. You're latching on because you didn't get that nurturance and all that shit from your mama, so you looking for it in anybody else that come through, okay? And that is exactly what she's doing right about now. She's going in there looking up stuff for Tegan, putting it on her desk. Tegan coming over there saying, bitch, you the one that put this on my desk? She was like, yes, I did for you. How did you know? Because I still got your password to your calendar. Okay, first of all, stay the fuck out my shit. Stay the fuck out my life, okay? I didn't ask you to do that, so don't ever do it again, okay? And she goes and she has this conversation because once again she see Annalise and Tegan together and they look like they're vibing. At first they didn't look like they fuck with each other. At least Tegan didn't fuck with Annalise like that. But now they look like they finna be good girlfriends, probably click butters. You know, you just never know. Okay, Annalise has a way of turning people out, and Annalise ain't had real sex in the whole season. Okay, so she about due for something. But and of course, you know, Michaela is in her feelings about it. She goes in there trying to talk to Tegan and talking about some, you know, I'm sorry for everything that's going on, but how is it that you're cool with Annalise, but you can't forgive me and all this shit? And Tegan was just looking at her like, bitch, come on, you did way more stuff, okay? You lied to me, all this shit, and you just basically just doing too fucking much, okay, girl? She was just doing too fucking much. And then she was like, I'm gonna make you like me. I said, if you don't get the stalker shit out of here, I really respected you. I really wanted to be this, and I thought I looked up to you, and you know, I'm gonna make you like me again. Bitch, she was like, no, I would never like you. Okay, we will never be friends. All right, it is what it is. Let that shit go. And it was just so cringeworthy to hear her say that. And each time she saw Annalise and Tegan around, she gets in her feelings. When they won, the fact that they when they found out that all the kids passed the exam or whatever, the ethics exam, and they was about to celebrate, they brought the liquor out. You know, she was about to she turned around and she seen Annalise and Tegan and they walking out. They just chit chatting or whatever. Even Tegan invited Annalise to go salsa dancing with her, but of course Annalise turned that down. And Michaela is in her feelings. She drinking her life away, drinking it all away. She go over there to Asher place, well, was about to, because it's where she finds Frank, okay? Frank was telling her, you ain't got to go and do all this shit, okay? Because she talking about something, don't nobody like me, because you too fucking much, bitch, okay? You are the most self-centered ass bitch that there is on this show. Okay, and that says a fucking lot. You know, she's doing the absolute most. They got her on here acting like an obsessive stalker. Okay, damn, bitch. Next thing you know, we gonna see her breaking up into Tegan's house, sniffing her drawers and shit, you know? It's just crazy the way that her character is now, and I just don't like it. I don't like her right now. I really don't. Um, Something else that went on. Nate then found the nurse that was on staff when Bonnie's so-called baby, Bonnie's baby was there. Okay, and she was talking about how everybody was loving the baby, how they just dropped the baby off. Guy dropped the baby off, and they was just trying to think about the baby's name and who's gonna adopt the baby, and they was just having a good time. It was just a lovable baby, okay? And then one day, the baby turns up missing, and they was blaming the nurse because it happened on her shift. She blames herself as well. Nate gets her to come on out with the fact that it was first of all, he did some digging into her background and found out that she's having another reoccurrence of breast cancer, stage 4, and she's on this type of medicine that was given to his wife. And he was like, "You need to stop taking that because my wife took the same medicine and she was dead a few months later." Okay, and after that, he was like, "You don't want to live with the secret on your heart. Go ahead and say what it is." She said basically, this guy came in and put the baby up at the hospital. The daughter came in and took the baby. Okay, the mother took the baby. And, the father wanted to come back and bring the baby back without the daughter getting, caught up. Okay. And at this point, I was like, so wait a minute, Bonnie really stole her baby? Bonnie stole her baby. I said, bitch, this whole time you got me thinking what? Bonnie done stole the goddamn son, so she know where he at. She know what she did with him, bitch. I said, Bonnie, bring Bonnie ass up in here, because I got some shit to say to this hoe. Okay? But no. He showed her a picture and was like, is this the picture of the surveillance, okay, from way back then, and then a picture of Bonnie from when she was on court, when she had the longer hair, whatever. And he was like, are these two the same people? And she said yes. And so Nate went over there to Annalise's house and told her, well, I was waiting for it until I got all the evidence that I need. Bonnie's baby might still be alive. And Bonnie is the one that kidnapped the baby. She was like, no, that's not true. That's not true. And it was like, here she is in the picture. And it was like, no, that's not Bonnie. That's Bonnie's sister. I said, wait the fuck a minute. Bonnie got a sister? Did I miss something? God damn. Okay. But that was the big reveal of the night. I was just sitting here like, oh, Jesus Christ, y'all making my brain hurt. Then at the very end of the episode, we go back to the present at the wedding reception. And the DJ is calling up Connor and Oliver to give their toast and to, have their first dance together. Connor's face is fucked up. Mind you, this is 2 months earlier, okay? We done moved down the timeline. It's 2 months. We almost up to the present, okay? I said, what the fuck happened to Connor's face? And now they looking for Oliver. Oliver not there, okay? They just looking around. They keep calling Oliver. And then Michaela turns around and she looks at Bonnie. Bonnie ain't sweat nothing, but Michaela notices that darn blotch of blood that's right there on her neck. I said, ain't this about a bitch? Don't tell me y'all finna, okay. Don't tell me that's Connor out there. That's Oliver out there that's dead, okay? I don't think it's gonna be that easy, but bitch, who the fuck is out there? Okay, because now, some people say it was a girl, some people say it's a guy. I don't know. Okay, I really don't know who it is at this point. Girl, y'all tell me if y'all got any guesses, okay, what y'all think the scenario is, because I'm lost. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. This was a good episode, and I will see y'all later. Peace.